tickets and parking.
No, just parking.
And
The spot was there. I don't know if it was him that had all the pull. I mean, it should have been in his name and the guy he was with. We'll keep that between us, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Well,
Thanks. Say you owe me one.
Because I'm going to have to be training with that guy who's with, so I don't need him hearing me on the radio.
You can say his name. He knows. Brian. Yes, Brian.
So he's the one that stiffed you, really. Hayes didn't stiff him. Thanks for coming over. We appreciate you coming over and helping out here with something, obviously, that is very, very important. There's no question about it. All right, let's get right to it.
Yeah, get to the nitty-gritty.
Let's get to the nitty-gritty. We were talking about this last week. And the whole thing with Jimmy Vesey, there's a rumor out there that you apparently complained, and I know your brother, I guess, is even tighter with him, right? That true?
Oh, yeah, him and my little brother always been close friends, and it seems like they're going to be a little bit closer playing with the Rangers now.
Playing on the same team with them, you know? But there was a rumor out there that you made some comment to him about Boston and you don't want to play here or something like that. That's got out there.
Yeah, I don't know how that got out there because, I mean, it's completely false. I mean, it's... Obviously, we've always wanted Jimmy Vesey here, and we thought it was a great fit for Jimmy Vesey to come here and play in Boston. I mean, he's going to have an opportunity to play with some high-end players. But, throughout the process, I talked to him a bunch about coming and playing and trying to fit into Boston and our system. And I know a bunch of guys on our team did as well. And I don't know, sometimes people could say that I think the media is too hard on me, and I never said that. I mean, you get what you get, you know. I want to be more contributing to this season, and that's what it is.
Take me through the year too, because I grew up in Framingham and I played here, and it's Fenway Park, and it's great, but it is difficult. I mean, when I left here, my family after 6 years was sort of like, okay, maybe that's the best thing. My mom's getting, why did he strike out or make an error? Bases loaded, they were getting peppered. So, how difficult was that for you? It's exciting to play for the Bruins, but yet when did the reality hit that, man, this is kind of tough on not just me, my family.
I think for anybody, it's not just for me. It's just a little bit easier for me being a local kid. Yeah. But it's, it's a big hockey market, and everybody here is passionate about their sports, from the Patriots to the Bruins, and they expect everybody to win. And if you're not winning, and I wasn't contributing at certain times, I got to make sure that I'm doing that on a more consistent basis this year and be ready to play.
What are you working on? Like what season ends. The last 2 years, the Bruins don't make the playoffs. First preseason for you after playing 1 year for the Bruins. What do you think you need to do better? Like, what have you been working on in the offseason so far?
The big thing for me this year has been the first 3 steps quickness. I've been trying to make sure that I'm going to be as quick as I can and get myself in a tip-top shape here. I've been doing it all summer, like I said, with Brian. Yeah. And, the quickness, getting out of the corners and getting to that front of the net and working on my game right in front of the net to, score some more goals and contribute in the way that I know I can do it.
All right, so you're saying it doesn't bother you playing in this marketplace?
No, I love playing there. It's my hometown.
Okay, you know, growing up in this town, you know what these fans are all about. You know what they're meant.
I've been hard on them myself at times.
I'm sure.
I read some stuff what he said about Lou, and Lou was playing.
Hey, man, you're probably one of those guys that yelled at my mom in the grocery store.
Okay, so let me bring one up. You know, and I know the game is changing right now. You're talking about speed and quickness, and the game is changing, but I think Bruins fans look at your size and they sit there and say, why the hell isn't Jimmy Hayes more physical out there? And you've heard that in this town for many years. Hal Gill.
I've heard it my whole career.
Exactly right. Is that just your game? Are people here expecting something that is just not you?
No, I think, like you said, I'm being a big guy. It's being a part of it, and it's something I got to continue to do on a regular basis. There'll be nights where you'll see me, and then you'll be like, oh, where is he the next night? And it's something I need to continue to focus on and work on. And like you said, the game is so fast now, and the guys are getting quicker and quicker and younger, and I just got to continue to make sure that I'm going to be able to keep up in that pace, and at the same time bring a physical aspect to my game and make sure that's the identity of our team as well.
You play for the team you were a fan of, obviously growing up. And I remember after my rookie year in the offseason, we signed Manny Ramirez, and I was more excited as a fan, I think, than realizing I'm on the team with him. So it's like you're still that cross of wanting to see this team improve because you love the Bruins and now you're a member of it. Does that make you look at the offseason differently? Are you looking at it saying, listen, we got to get this guy, we got to get this guy? Or you're pissed at your brother Kevin for stealing Jimmy Vesey?
I think, we've done a great job adding to our team, making our team better. And, but when you look at it, you want to look at what you can do better to help our team win. And I think that was the approach for a lot of guys in our team. And I think you're going to see, a lot of energy this year. Especially in Boston, missing the playoffs 2 years in a row is not expected and it's not accepted. So you're going to continue to see a team that's going to be eager to win.
So what's Claude like? Is he a lot of times he seems like he's morphing into Belichick, as far as just his post-game press conferences and stuff. I mean, How's as far as like coach-player relationship, what's that like?
Yeah, I mean, he's been great. He's actually helped me a lot, especially playing here. He's got to continue. He expects a lot of his players, and he'll let you know. And you just got to continue to show up every day. And he's a guy that is for his players, and he pushes everybody sit there and play for him and try to get wins for him and wins as a team and move together and move forward in the right direction as a unit here.
Curious, when Cam Neely walks in the room, is it different for you because you grew up here than maybe others, or do others kind of still look at him as not just the front office guy, but you're a kid in Boston, this is Cam Neely?
Yeah, I think at first it was kind of overwhelming, like, wow, this is Cam Neely, he's in here. But, like he said, he's in the front office, and he expects everybody in the room to bring their best effort every single night. And it's pretty cool to have a guy like that around the room every single day.
See, because he did ruin it for all the big guys. I mean, when people talk about Milan Lucic and they say he wasn't physical enough, right? Because they compare him to Cam. And, I mean, Luc was physical. We know that. That's what goes back to what Glenn was talking about in the size thing. It's almost like Cam has set the standard for big fellas. They maybe should look at him and say, yeah, thanks, I appreciate it. Now I got to run through walls because of you? I mean, that's just what he's done.
I think it's the old stereotypical big bad Bruins too, which you grew up watching, and everybody looks at them, and the game is changing, and they look at your side. What do you think happened at the end last year? I know you can't speak for 2 years ago, but it looked like you had the playoff spot, looked like everything was set, and then the last few weeks, the last week itself.
Well, yeah,
what the hell happened?
It just came down. We had to find a way to get 2 points every night, and we put ourselves in a good spot at the beginning of March there. I'm pretty sure we were in first place in the conference, but, every single night, and it's a tough league, and that just goes to show you how good the NHL is right now, that there's no more bunny games. Everyone's going to compete. Everyone's always fighting for a job, and, we try to find a way to get 2 points every single night, and we weren't able to do it, and missed out on a good opportunity to make the playoffs.
You guys add Backus to this group here. Now, whether he plays on the wing or he slides into that third center, behind Bergeron and Krejci, what do you know of him? Do you know anything of him personally?
Personally, I haven't met him yet, but watching him play and playing against him the last couple of years here, he's a guy that's going to be very hard to play against. I think Boston's going to enjoy him here. He's a hard-working guy, and speaking with some of his old teammates, I guess he's an amazing guy as well. So it's going to be great for our locker room, and great to add a guy like that who can play all three zones and be physical and score a lot of goals as well.
Good.
Frank Vatrano joining us as well. Great to see you, Frank.
What's up, bud?
How's it going? Snuck right in.
Jimmy's like, good.
Snuck right in. Yeah. You noticed that? He snuck right in.
He's coming through the window?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not supposed to go through the window.
When's the last time you snuck into a window for something?
Probably last week.
Probably a couple years ago, actually.
Last week.
Well, it must have been exciting for you to get the opportunity to come up here and play last year, huh?
Yeah, it was fun. It was my first year in Boston and in Providence, so it was fun, and I had a great time up here. And obviously went back down a little bit towards the end of the year to kind of get my game back. And once I got called up again, I felt more comfortable, and then I knew what I needed to do to maintain a full-time roster spot.
I don't know what the run was, but it was something like 34 goals, I think, in 33 games or whatever it was down in Providence. You run a run. At what point during that does it get frustrating, or does it just get, okay, let's go, let's get me up to Boston, enough with down here in Providence? Doing enough.
I mean, part of it's kind of a waiting process. You don't really know what goes on behind the scenes. You kind of get a hint, but you don't really know. So for me, it was just playing my game and not getting frustrated. I'm down there in Providence to develop, and whenever it was their time for me to come up and to put me in a spot to succeed, and that's what they did. So I just kind of kept it patient, just kept doing what I was doing down there, and eventually knew the call would come.
What's the biggest difference taking that leap from Providence to Boston?
I think just in Boston, I was at a different role. In Providence, I played a much different role, like I said, than I did in Boston. And I think, if you're not scoring goals in the next level in the NHL, I think it's more than just that. You got to be reliable in all areas of the ice, and especially in Boston, you got to play hard-nosed hockey, and you got to be good in both zones of the ice. So I think it's just being consistent is the biggest thing, and something that definitely for me need to keep improving on, is just being consistent.
Is it easier out of the gate for you? I know, and by the way, you guys are going to be working at that new facility that is located right next door to our studio. We look outside the window with binoculars.
Nice.
We can watch. It looks great over there. Is it easier for you, Frank, now that you've gone through this a little bit?
Yeah, I still think I'm young, and so I think it's still a learning process even this year. And last year, I kind of got a feel for it, like I said, and I think it's just take it day by day and just keep going hard and all that stuff.
I think one of the big things you noticed this offseason too, I think maybe both of you guys realize, is there wasn't. We talked about Backus coming in here, but other than that, it seems to be this trust. You know, Jimmy Hayes coming back next year, Frank Vatrano taking that big step. I mean, does it make you feel good knowing the organization might trust you and maybe expect a lot out of you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see the holding on the guys that we've had, and also bringing up people in through the system. We got a bunch of good guys down in Providence, and even younger prospects coming in. So to see that management and the coaching staff is kind of having those spots to grab to take for the younger kids and stuff, and put more trust in the guys we've had coming in the past year and the years before that. It shows that they want to develop people that are in the system now and don't think they need to go outside of that. So
it's interesting when you see athletes come from out of town, and you're coming back into town. They want to find out what the Jimmy Fund. They don't really know what the Jimmy Fund is all about. Now, you probably remember it growing up like as a kid, right?
Oh yeah, and it's the Jimmy Fund's always something that always hits home with me, with both my parents, both battling cancer and both doing healthy and fine now. It's always been a soft spot for me, and it's just always great to see everyone in Massachusetts through all the sports teams, no matter who you play, and it's just a great cause, and it's raising tons of money every single year, and it's great to see that.
Hey, do you guys think Vince Wilfork would be a good goalie?
Oh God, here we go.
Frank, do you know who Vince Wilfork is?
Yeah, football player.
Yeah, Jimmy, you know him, right? Come
yeah,
on.
sure do.
He'd be a good goalie. Wouldn't he be a great goalie if
he
you could?
He'd be a pretty good goalie. I've never seen a guy that big run that fast, so he's probably pretty quick.
He says that if he trained, though, he'd be better than Tuca. If Vince Wilfork trained at a young age.
If Vince Wilfork spent as much time as a kid playing football and he grew up in Canada, he'd be just as good as Tuca. Sure, and he's 300 pounds. There's no room for him to shoot.
All right, let's talk with one of the veterans here. David Krejci joins us as well. When's the last time you actually climbed through a window? That recent? No?
First time for everything.
Really?
I was going to say, they're forcing you guys to climb through windows to get to us. Which is, we talked a little bit about last season, so maybe you can give us your version of it. And you know this town. You've played long enough now. 3 years in a row won't be acceptable with these Bruins fans out there. What do you think happened last year?
I mean, last year was last year, so we kind of trying to move on. It was tough ending. It kind of still hurts, but it was a long summer, and we have some new players. We're all excited, new season. So we're gonna leave everything out there to make sure we get in the playoff, because that's what the city of Boston deserves. That's where we should be playing, and so we're all excited. Fresh start, so. Can't wait to get it started.
David, one of the things that Christian and I always talked about is there's a fine line of playing hurt, being injured, and everything else. In this town, you play hurt. Sometimes you don't get credit. Instead, you get blamed. They're asking you what's wrong. They don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So with that, how healthy are you right now? How physically, where are you at? Because I know last year there was times when you kept hearing about how you're nicked up playing through it.
Yeah, well, one thing is the fans are passionate, which is awesome. When there's lows and highs, just like in every sport in Boston. But I had a hip surgery. I'm getting close to be 100%. Every day is kind of step forward, so I'm getting there.
How much did that affect you last year?
Last 20 games was pretty tough. Was playing through a lot, but so everyone else, no player plays 82 games perfectly healthy. So I was just unfortunate that I had to get surgery done after the season, but. I'll be ready to go and can't wait to get it started.
You say last year is last year, but, of course, we're going to look back all the time because that's what we're supposed to do. But if you think about that, what are some things that you noticed that you said, okay, we need to work on this. We need to be better at that. Is there any areas that you looked at once the season was over, going into the offseason, you said, okay, when we return, we got to be really good at what?
Well, if you look last year and even the year before, maybe 10 or 15 games to go, we were in the playoff by maybe 10 points, and then last 10 games last year, it kind of slipped. So we have to find a consistency. We have to find the right players that they have to step up at the most crucial time, and we didn't have that last year. So we're gonna have to put it together, as a team, and. It's not easy, it's tough, especially the April. Every team is battling for playoff spots, so it's not easy. It's pretty much another level, and I felt like last year we didn't have the another gear in us, and that's what hurt us. That's why we couldn't win the games when it mattered the most. But I really believe and hope that we learn from the mistake. We had some young players last year, so there'll be more experience this year, and hopefully we learn and we can bring this experience to March and April when the game is actually when it matters the most.
Guys, thank you very much for stopping by and helping stand behind the Jimmy Fund and what we're trying to do here today. So we really appreciate it. David Krejci, Jimmy Hayes, and Frank Vatrano. And one more thing, Jimmy. So you did not have the conversation with Veazey. I just want you to get it out there.
I sure did not.
Did not have the conversation.
Tell Jimmy Veazey. I mean, of course we wanted to have a player like him. You know, he's the top free agent in all of college hockey, and you know, I know myself and other guys on our team tried our hardest to convince him to come here, and I'm sure if you guys wanted to ask him, he'd tell you exactly the same thing, and he'll give you the answer why he went to New York.
Glad you cleared it up. Thank you.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you for showing up. We really appreciate it.